Local health officials are having to field more and more calls from people who are confused about booster doses of COVID vaccine. I'm Zach Dodge with who's actually eligible right now, coming up.
And an update on renovations at the historic and fire-damaged Olivia building in Joplin.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Local health officials field calls from confused residents about COVID vaccine booster doses. This is KOAM News at 6. On Friday, an FDA advisory committee did not recommend booster doses of Pfizer's COVID-19 vaccine for the general population. This comes after the president said booster doses would be available starting yesterday. Well, now some 4-staters say they're confused about what's happening. KOAM's Zach Dodge has a breakdown.
It's the latest change in the pandemic to cause confusion among the public.
I think they're very confused.
A little bit of a mixed signal. People were a little bit confused on, which one it was, whether I could get the shot or not.
On Friday, an FDA advisory committee voted against recommending booster doses of Pfizer's COVID vaccine for the general public. A change from when the president in August said boosters would be widely available in September. So who can go out and get an additional dose of vaccine right now?
So right now.
But wait, hold that thought. Before we go over all of that, let's go over some important terminology. Whenever health officials say third dose, that is for people who are immunocompromised. Whenever they talk about booster doses, that's for everyone else in the general population. Now that that's out of the way,
they approved boosters for people that are over the age of 65, and then those that are considered high risk for having COVID-19 complications.
But those people can't get an additional shot yet either.
I really do think that what's going to end up happening is once the CDC advisory committee meets, they meet the 22nd and the 23rd, so Wednesday and Thursday of this week, that they'll really define the criteria for those that are considered high risk.
So as of today, Liberty says the only people who can walk into a provider and get an additional shot are people who are immunocompromised and eligible for a third dose.
Local health departments, our local hospitals and doctors locally, that's who I would turn to, and when they're starting to get the message out, or you can come, for your booster, that's when you really need to say, okay, it's time to do it.
In Joplin and Lamar, Zach Dodge, KOAM News.
Dermot adds that he's heard from people asking about a second shot of Johnson & Johnson's vaccine as well. So far, no authorization has been given to administer second shots of that vaccine. The defense of a Joplin murder suspect tries to make its case for a lesser charge as the trial enters its second day. Stephen Thompson is accused of shooting his estranged wife and another woman in 2015. Carissa Gerard died from her injuries. Thompson's estranged wife, Christina Thompson, survived but was critically injured. Stephen Thompson is charged with first-degree murder, first-degree domestic assault, and 2 counts of armed criminal action. His attorneys are trying to get a lesser charge of second-degree murder. You can follow along with the latest from the trial in this story on our website, KOAMnewsnow.com. Nice weather out there. Checking in with Nick Kelly.
Yeah, a much better day compared to yesterday's rain and thunderstorms, Dal. We have mostly sunny skies looking outside right now. From 7th and Rangeline at the top of the 6 o'clock hour. That's a much better sight and really nice to see. Not a lot on the Skywatch Storm Tracker radar network. I will point out there's one lone little shower near Emporia that's trying to hold together, but as it keeps running into our drier air, it's on the downward swing. So we're going to keep things overall on the quiet side and mostly clear for this evening now that we're on the backside of our storm system that's still causing quite a bit of rain and storms off to the east for parts of the Ohio and Tennessee valleys. Looking at temperatures now, we're in the lower 70s across much of southwest Missouri, maybe a few mid-70s across the parts of Kansas and Oklahoma. But as our northerly breeze at 10 to 20 dies throughout the course of the night, we'll drop to 59 by 10 o'clock Dow and dropping back into the upper 40s. We've got a great start to the fall season tomorrow lined up. We'll break that down the rest of the forecast here in a bit.
Nick, thanks. This official last day of summer seems like a good time for the Instapoll question. What is your favorite season in the 4 states? Winter, spring, summer, or fall? No love for winter at the moment. You can participate in the poll at KOAMnewsnow.com/vote or through the KOAM News Now mobile app. Results are updated live, and the poll is open only through the end of this newscast. So vote right now, and we're going to check in on the numbers here in just a bit. Nearly a year ago, a fire left the future of the Olivia building in downtown Joplin uncertain. Now workers progressing to restore the building and give it a new future. KOAM's Chris Warner is live at the Olivia with more.
Well, on December 7th, 2020, a fire broke out on the 5th floor of this historic structure at 4th and Moffett. Now, the fire destroyed the roof, caused heavy damage to the 5th floor, and the Joplin Fire Department dumped just over 1 million gallons of water on it, with most of that water filtering through the interior of the building. The Downtown Joplin Alliance was able to partner with Bicota REI, and work began to restore the building.
So we're really interested in investing in the Joplin area. Our business primarily deals with the restoration of old single-family homes. And so this was a big challenge and interesting project to try and take on something larger and more impactful than a single-family home.
Now, tonight at 9 and 10, we're going to take you on an exclusive tour inside the Olivia and tell you about the progress they've made so far and what is yet to come. Reporting live in downtown Joplin, Chris Warner, KOAM News.
Looking forward to that, Chris. Thanks. Still ahead, a Missouri official moves to revoke the law licenses of the St. Louis couple who pled guilty to pointing guns at protesters. And after a violent couple of days in St. Louis, more violence downtown as mourners gather to remember one of this weekend's victims. A federal appeals court is considering whether Missouri can implement a sweeping law aimed at limiting abortions. The law, adopted in 2019, would ban abortions at or around the 8th week of pregnancy. It also would prohibit abortions based on a Down syndrome diagnosis. In June, a 3-judge panel upheld an injunction from a U.S. district judge prohibiting Missouri from enforcing the provisions, but the full 8th U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals in St. Louis has decided to hear the case. The Missouri Attorney General's office is defending the law. A ruling isn't expected for weeks. A Missouri official is asking the state Supreme Court to suspend the law licenses of the St. Louis couple who gained national attention last year when they waved guns at racial injustice protesters outside their home. Missouri Chief Disciplinary Counsel Alan Pratzel cited Mark and Patricia McCloskey's guilty pleas to misdemeanors stemming from the June 2020 encounter. Pratzel's office is responsible for investigating ethical complaints against Missouri lawyers. Missouri Governor Mike Parson pardoned the couple on June 30th. Pratzel's filing says that while a pardon erases a person's conviction, the person's guilt remains. A Kansas gamer whose online dispute with another player sparked a deadly hoax call will have to face a jury after violating the terms of a diversion deal he made with prosecutors. A U.S. district judge granted the government's motion to resume prosecution of Shane Gaskell of Wichita. Gaskell is charged with conspiracy, wire fraud, and other counts in connection with a series of events in 2017 that culminated in the fatal police shooting of 28-year-old Andrew Finch at his family's home in Wichita. The death drew national attention to swatting, a form of retaliation in which someone reports a false emergency to get authorities to descend on an address. Police in St. Louis say one person was killed and 3 others were hurt at an evening vigil for another shooting victim. Police say the shooting happened last night at an intersection in the downtown West neighborhood during a vigil for 27-year-old Demetrius Thomas, who was shot and killed nearby early yesterday morning. Police say someone in a dark sport utility vehicle drove by the vigil and shot into the crowd, leaving 2 women and 2 men with gunshot wounds. 1 man died at the scene. The other 3 were taken to a hospital with injuries not believed to be life-threatening. Later, the United Way kicks off its 2021 campaign.
But first, we'll break down how nice the next few days are looking when we come back. We kept things pretty quiet to start the day. In fact, thankfully, we kept quiet all day long. It's a nice change of pace. After we had to deal with our afternoon and evening bat rounds of rain, thunderstorms, and even some causing strong to severe thunderstorms, but none of the sort once we got past the last of our rain chances this morning. I will say, for those of you that really saw the rain came on down, you picked up quite a bit of rainfall just from yesterday's rain alone. Again, that was our best shot for rain for the next several days, but some of you certainly cashed in. 7/10 of an inch of rain on the average, but needless to say, quite a few areas picking up anywhere from what are estimated amounts between half an inch to almost 3 inches of rainfall. And with it coming down so quickly, no wonder those that saw a lot of heavy rainfall saw some quick pounding on the roads that led to some tricky travel issues last night. But thankfully, we kept quiet this time for the afternoon and not really seeing a lot of action on the radar network right now. And I really think this is how we're going to stay as we go throughout the rest of the evening. Again, nice change of pace compared to yesterday. Not to mention the temperatures, a lot nicer compared to yesterday. We topped out at 93 yesterday, but behind this front, we dropped into the upper 50s this morning and a high of 73 degrees. Yeah, definitely fall arriving a little ahead of schedule, but we'll take it. Mostly sunny skies in Joplin right now, sitting at 71, a north breeze of 16. Humidity, though, still nice and low at 41%. Most of us are in the lower to middle 70s at the top of the 6 o'clock hour. All these numbers are about 14 to 20 degrees cooler than the 90s that many of us were still seeing at this time yesterday evening because of our northerly breeze that cranked in the gear behind the cold front. It's going to lighten up, though, from the 10 to 20 miles per hour that we're seeing right now. It's going to really lighten up overnight, so we'll drop to 59 by 10. I'm thinking lows in the upper 40s for a good number of us tonight. So a cool start to Wednesday, but we're looking good for the rest of the evening while we continue to see our last cold front push off toward the east. High pressure is building in behind the front at the surface and upstairs. It's nice that we're back on the cooler side of the jet with no immediate storm systems on the horizon. So that translates to a future track with a boring weather, but considering what we had to put up with last night, we'll take it. Upper 40s to near 50 degrees for the entire region overnight, so most of us will drop back to 49 with sunny skies to start the day. That breeze stays light out of the north, but maybe picking up the 5 to 15 during the afternoon. But despite that, we'll still go to 67 by noon and a high of 72 in Joplin. Outside of the city, everyone will top out mainly in the lower 70s. This is looking really good to get the fall season officially underway tomorrow. Let's look down the road. Here's Thursday on the jet stream level here in the future track. The jets want us to start sneaking back toward us, so we'll have that resultant highs in the mid 70s for Thursday, but we stay dry. Friday, Saturday, and the weekend, partly to mostly sunny. I think we're dry with temperatures pushing back at least into the mid 80s, but by the time we head toward Monday, the jet pushes highs back near 90 before we could probably see our next storm system with any rain chances by Tuesday. In the short term, though, can't ask for anything better now. 72 sunny skies tomorrow, 76 Thursday, mid 80s for Friday and Saturday. A quick detour near 90 Sunday and Monday, but we won't worry about that now. We'll just enjoy tomorrow.
You bet. I'm loving it for the moment. Thanks. Hey, take a look at the photos some of you have submitted from the aftermath of last night's storms. These large hailstones fell near Erie, Kansas. Elsewhere around the area, scattered trees and branches were brought down by the winds, possibly gusting up to 60 miles an hour in some places. Some people, particularly in the Joplin area, lost power as the storm blew through. If you have photos you'd like to share, you can do so on the KOAM News Now Facebook page. A reminder, as we officially make the transition to fall tomorrow, we're asking, what is your favorite season in the 4 states? Spreading some love to winter now, but fall still in the lead. You can participate in the Insta poll at KOAMnewsnow.com/vote or through the KOAM News Now mobile app. Results are updated live. Go ahead and give your opinion right now. You don't have much time. We're going to end this at the end of this newscast. Still ahead, how a Kansas kid is growing his future one pumpkin at a time. The United Way of Southwest Missouri and Southeast Kansas kicked off its 2021 campaign today with a drive-through agency rally. This was the first year they hosted a drive-through rally, which took place at Missouri Southern's Robert Plaster Sports Complex. Now, during last year's campaign, the United Way raised $650,000. This year, they hope to reach $700,000.
Our theme for this year's campaign is Driving Change 365, and we're really focusing in that United Way is here 365 days a year, providing services through our partner agencies and through the services at United Way.
United Way will host another drive-through rally tomorrow at Pitt State's Bicknell Family Center for the Arts from 11:30 a.m. to 1 p.m. Company Days returns to Pitt State after a year-long hiatus. More than 170 companies from all across the nation are on campus to work on attracting their next batch of workers. Today, Company Days highlighted 107 of those companies with a focus on the construction industry. The event continues tomorrow with automotive companies. About 50 miles west of Wichita, a Kansas boy is growing his college fund by growing pumpkins. He's 13 years old and already has years of experience. Morgan Mobley visited the young entrepreneur in his pumpkin patch.
Every year, Boston Beck spends hours out here.
You got to give it lots and lots and lots of water. And it's Kansas, so it's going to be really hot. You got to do that about every single day until they're about the size of a basketball.
He's been growing pumpkins since he was 8 years old.
I just thought it was something like fun to do and just give us another hobby, and it turned out to be something big.
Something so big, just a regular truck to transport the crop won't do. So Boston takes a lap around his patch in a school bus.
You can haul way more.
Off to his front yard they go, and demand is high for Boston's homegrown pumpkins, selling out just about every night.
This weekend, we about made $1,000 alone. We didn't think we were going to be making money, but then once we're starting to do that, it's like, well, what am I going to do with all this?
This 13-year-old has his sights set far beyond buying the newest video game. With his future in mind, he started a college fund.
You never know what's going to turn and what might go wrong, so he's got to have some backup plans and some backup money.
But the payoff is coming even before he steps onto a college campus. He's learning about life and himself on a Monday afternoon in his pumpkin patch.
Sometimes the smallest plant produces the biggest pumpkin, so it's kind of fun to watch.
That young man is going places. Boston says his dream is to go to Kansas State and become a veterinarian. Final check of the forecast and our Instapoll up next. Take time now to honor a local veteran. Larry Ebbs served in the U.S. Navy and Air Force. His hometown, Pittsburgh. And we are proud to salute Larry Ebbs. He's tonight's four-state hero. Here's a look at what's coming up tonight on KOAM News at 9 on Fox 14. Going to have more on some historic renovations underway at the Olivia building in Joplin. Also, labor and distribution issues are creating a nationwide flower shortage and a headache for florists. And results from a new study about the dirtiest parts of your bathroom may surprise you, or maybe not. That and more tonight on KOAM News at 9 on Fox 14. All right, let's check back in with the final look at today's KOAM News Now Instapoll. Before we officially make the transition from summer to fall tomorrow, we're asking, what is your favorite season in the four states? And turns out it's fall, followed closely by winter and summer. This poll is now closed. Thank you for participating. I have to agree with this 52% of respondents who say fall.
Yeah, based on this past winter, I'm surprised you got any love.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Beautiful weather right now.
Yeah, we do have to start a bit cool tonight. Not wintry cold, but upper 40s for lows. 72, sunny, great way to start fall tomorrow. 76 on Thursday, back in the mid-80s as we get the weekend going now.
Before we go, a quick congratulations to our outstanding reporter, Zach Dodge. He's leaving us for another opportunity. We're going to miss you, Zach, but we know you're going to do well. We'll see you right back here for KOAM News at 10. Let's make it a great evening.